And welcome back to another video. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Justina, and if you're a returning viewer, welcome back and thank you for joining me today. So here today I'm going to look at the full moon's energies happening on the 19th of August at 27 degrees of Aquarius. So here, if you have any placements at around 27 degrees of Aquarius in one of the fixed signs, and this will be around 26, 27, 28 of Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, or Taurus, then you will be under a greater influence of this full moon. Now, this full moon connects to a cycle that started 18 months prior to this full moon. So if you can think about what happened in your life around 18 months prior to this particular full moon, so that would be around February 2023, see what you initiated, what started in your life. It will be quite significant because this full moon brings a lot of intense energies, which we will explore in a moment. And also, if your birthday falls on the 19th, then this coming year will be really significant because, first of all, when our birthday falls at the time of a full moon or on the day of a full moon, then this indicates that in the following 12 months, we will be closing some major chapters or doors in our lives, if you will. But at the same time, since we've got also Uranus being really prominent at the time of this full moon, this also suggests that you'll be breaking away from some stagnation, from a stagnant routine, or whatever it is that needs to be changed. There's a shift of energies coming up overall. All right, so here we've got an earth sign and a fixed full moon as well, which brings lasting results. All right, so here Aquarius is ruled by both Saturn and Uranus. Uranus is the modern ruler and Saturn is the traditional ruler. Aquarius is connected to rebellion, innovation, humanitarianism, social progress, collective consciousness, technology, unconventional thinking. Now, a full moon is connected to culmination, illumination, completion, heightened emotions, but also revelations. And the full moon overall brings to light issues that have been developing, highlighting area that requires attention and also resolution. So here the full moon is fully illuminated at this time, heightening our feelings and our emotions. Now, at the time of the Aquarius full moon, there are two powerful T-squares dominating the energies of this time. And a T-square is a challenging astrological aspect that involves three planets. Two planets are in opposition, 180 degrees apart, and both form a square at 19 degrees here aspect to a third planet known as the apex, also called the focal planet. Now, this configuration creates tension and really dynamic energy, pushing for resolution and growth. Now, the first T-square of this happening at the time of this full moon is, of course, the full moon. The full moon forms or is involved in a T-square. We've got the moon and the sun opposition, and both luminaries aspect the third planet by a square, and that's Uranus in Taurus. And also there is Mercury circulating around the sun as well. Now, the second T-square involves Venus and Saturn, which are in opposition. And both these planets aspect the third planet by a square, a 19-degree aspect, and this is both Mars and Jupiter, because let's not forget these two planets conjoined and started a brand new cycle on the 14th of August. And at the time of this full moon, they are still in a close proximity to one another. So they become a focal planet of the Venus and Saturn opposition. Now, the full moon in Aquarius emphasizes innovation, progress, combined with the dynamic tension of the two T-squares. This period may bring some really significant technological advancements, social movements as well, that are aimed at promoting individuality, collective welfare. And Aquarius influence highlights the importance of community and also collective efforts. Now, the full moon in Aquarius with Uranus as the focal planet. This suggests that there might be some significant protests, movements demanding social justice, equality, systematic change. Now, governments and political institutions across the globe may have to face some intense pressure and potential upheaval. Now, the T-square involving Saturn and Venus points to conflicts between authority and people's needs, potentially leading to political crisis or perhaps shifts in power. Uranus in Taurus, as the apex focal planet of the Sun and Mercury and the Moon T-square, indicates potential instability in financial markets, potential sudden shifts in economic policies, but also market disruptions. Issues related to resources such as food, energy, material wealth may come to the forefront as well. There could be also disruptions in supply chains or new approaches to resource management prompted by crisis or perhaps innovations. The Aquarian influence and Uranus being so prominent at the time of this full moon highlight technological advancements, breakthroughs in technology, especially those related to finance, communication, but also social networking as well. Now, with the tension created by the T-square, there is also a risk of increased cybersecurity threats and cyber attacks. The full moon in Aquarius, with its humanitarian focus, could also spur heightened activism around environmental issues. So during this time, we might also expect some significant actions and campaigns connected to climate change, and campaigns promoting sustainability. Now, Uranus being activated in Taurus can also signify unexpected natural disasters, natural events, and we've seen it so much happen in the recent years. Whenever Uranus is activated during a full moon, very often there are earthquakes taking place or volcanic eruptions. All right, so let's see what this full moon may bring for us individually. We'll look at each rising sign. You can also watch for your moon sign or your sun sign if you wish, just to get a bigger picture and a wider perspective upon your life during this intense time. Thank you very much, and let's begin. All right, so hello, Aries, and welcome to your horoscope. We've got the 27th degree of Aquarius here activated for you. So that's your 11th house, the area of social networks, friendships, finances as well, the finances that we earn through our business, second from the 10. And we will look at the two T-squares activated at this time. Of course, the first one, that's the opposition between the Sun and the Moon. The Sun is conjunct Mercury. Mercury is combust, retrograde still. And the focal planet of this first T-square is Uranus in your second house of personal values, resources, possessions. So here the tension is between your personal desires, goals, objectives, and worldly achievements, goals. And you might have to face some unexpected changes that may occur around this time in your social circles. Or perhaps this could be connected to your long-term aspirations, goals, objectives for the future. So the way this could play out is that with the focal planet Uranus in your second house, this could lead to some unexpected financial changes, shifts that may occur around this time. And they will require some deep and careful thinking. Perhaps you'll be reassessing your financial situation, your resources, and values. Now, on a different level, we've got the second T-square. That's your Venus and Saturn's opposition between the 6th and the 12th house. And Mars and Jupiter in the 3rd house become the focal point of this particular T-square. So in this case scenario, this could be related to some potential challenges, clash of energies between your daily life, daily routine, daily work, environment, and your responsibilities to others. So here tensions could arise around this time. Perhaps this could also trigger your mental well-being. And the impact that this T-square would have here upon your 3rd house is this could generally mean that you may have to face some sudden transformative changes, potentially. Perhaps these changes might prompt you to rethink your professional path, the next step you want to take in your career, for example. This could be very much the case as well. Now, I'm highlighting a career because Saturn rules your 10th house and co-rules your 11th house. And that's here highlighted. Thank you very much, Aries. And now let's have a look at Taurus. Okay, so hello, Taurus, and welcome. So we will look at the two T-squares activated at the time of this full moon. The first one is the opposition between the moon and the sun and Mercury conjunction, and the focal planet Uranus is activated in your first house of Taurus. Now, overall, the themes of this full moon are connected to your career, to your public image, to your public reputation, to your personal identity, of course, as well. Now, of course, this is happening in your 10th house, but because they're the T-squares, the two T-squares are activated at this time, different areas are also highlighted. Now, the first T-square between the full moon and the Uranus being the focal planet of the full moon, sun and moon opposition. This could generally mean that you might be going through some meaningful, significant, important development situations in your outside world, in your public life, in your career. And this could also mean some potential unexpected changes that could occur around this time in how you see yourself, or perhaps how you present yourself to the world. And now the goal here is to perhaps learn to balance the energies between, or the energies affecting your personal identity in some way, or perhaps overall balancing personal identity, personal awareness, personal goals, ambitions, hopes with your professional demands, because work might be really demanding at this time, and you will have to find this healthy balance in how you navigate these energies in order to not to perhaps overwhelm yourself with the amount of work activities happening at this time. And at the same time, we've got Venus and Saturn opposition. Venus is your ruler. And the focal planet of the second T-square is Mars and Jupiter conjunction in your second house. So here we've got tension between personal growth, personal objectives, self-expression even, and relationship dynamics. So here there could be this clash of energies which may surface around this time. And during this time overall here, this Saturn and Venus opposition could test your relationships, your partnerships. And perhaps you might have to find new ways to find a healthy balance, to harmonize your personal and professional life around this time. Let's not forget, we've got this major here area highlighted by the full moon on its own. That's your first and the 10th house axis, and the rest is adding to it. All right, so I'm just giving you some here, highlighting some important aspect, and the rest I leave it to you, how you align this information with your own personal story. Now let's look at Gemini. Gemini, this is happening here, this full moon activating your 9th house. The 9th house deals with themes related to higher learning and anything to do with your life philosophy, life principles, legal matters, export and import related business affairs. Now here, all the areas of life that could be highlighted around this time is your daily routine or perhaps spirituality. All right, so first of all, we've got the first T-square activating your 3rd and the 9th house. And the focal planet Uranus is in the 12th house. So here during this time, you might experience tension because oppositions and squares bring tension and a need to find a common ground. We've got a tension between your daily responsibilities, daily life, the 3rd house energies, mundane, practical, and that reality. And so here the tension is between the 3rd and your broader philosophical, educational pursuits, that energy of the ninth house that is connected to that need to expand one's horizons, spread one's wings. Now, this can result generally this tension here. This could result in some sudden insights that could potentially, or events that could potentially disrupt your daily life, daily routines. And this can generally lead to you wanting to perhaps, or having to reevaluate your belief system, your life principles, your life philosophy, or perhaps your educational goals, your life purpose. Now, at the same time, we've got also another T-square between Venus and Saturn, with the focal planet being Mars and Jupiter conjunction in your first house. And that's the 10th and the 4th, with Saturn being in the 10th and the 4th Venus. So we've got another conflict between your work and your inner world, your emotional side of psyche. And this can generally challenge that sense of balance. And the experiences as a result of this opposition between Venus and Saturn, activating your area of home, career, and potentially you having this need to find a healthier balance between your worldly aspirations and your home responsibilities. So here, these intense emotions, experiences potentially may push you towards the spiritual side of life. Or perhaps this could be about having this strong need to gain a better or a deeper self-understanding. All right, so thank you. And that's Geminis, and now Cancers. Cancers, the full moon in Aquarius will activate your 8th house. We've got an opposition here between the moon and the Sun and Mercury conjunction, and the focal planet, the apex, is Uranus in the 11th house. So the themes overall activated here: shared and joined resources, financial area of life, intimacy, creativity, transformation overall. So let's have a look at the first T-square. The first T-square is activating your 8th in the 2nd house, and the resolution is in the 11th house. So here, there could be some potential issues that could emerge related to joint finances, partnerships, intimate life. So these might come to a head, and these could lead to some unexpected financial or perhaps emotional revelations that could overall mean some significant changes in the financial sector in your life, or perhaps in how the finances are shared and managed in your household. Now, at the same time, we also have Venus and Uranus opposition. That's the 3rd and the 9th house. And the focal planet, the apex, is Mars and Jupiter in the 12th house. Now, on a different level, we've got also Saturn and Venus opposition, and the focal planet, 2 planets, Mars and Jupiter conjunction, aligned with the energies of the full moon in the 8th house. Here, this could indicate that maybe some creative projects that you are currently working on. Maybe this is about your romantic relationship. There's some tension overall here in this area of life that requires your attention, that requires your energy, requires a balance between personal and shared goals, potentially. And this could also indicate deep transformation in how you handle shared resources, or perhaps personal creativity to a certain extent as well. Right, so here we go. Thank you very much, Cancers. And now let's have a look at Leos. Leos, this full moon is happening in your 7th house. So here your relationships are highlighted, but of course we also have the 1st house activated, where the solar point is present with Mercury. And we've got 2 T-squares as well that are activating also your financial sector as well. So overall, we've got personal themes related to personal goals, objectives, personal identity, relationships. Home area as well is highlighted during this time. And here with the first T-square, this could be about a potential tension between personal goals, desires, objectives, and also your relationship dynamics. So here, this could lead to unexpected changes, shifts in your partnerships, in your relationships, or perhaps your public image. Generally, it seems like some kind of adjustments will be required at this time in order to move forward with specific goals, ideas, or generally to move away from maybe some challenging situation. Now, at the same time, I think this first T-square, the full moon, also opposing the Sun and Mercury in your first house could also mean that you might be implementing some changes in how you assert yourself, how you assert your identity. Now, the second T-square is says Venus and Saturn opposition activating your financial houses, the second and the eighth. The focal planets are Mars and Jupiter in your 11th house. So here we've got a conflict, tension, oppositions require that need to find a common ground. And here the second house, here Saturn being the career planet connected to authority, and Venus being the planet of love, relationships, creativity. This could also indicate major financial conversations, decisions you'll be making. Perhaps you have to be more careful with your outgoing spendings during this time, but also this could mean conflict between home life and career ambitions. And you might have to find a balance between professional goals, objectives, responsibilities, and your personal relationships. I think that's very much highlighted here during this time. All right, so thank you very much, Leos. Let's have a look at Virgos now. Virgos, welcome. We've got here the full moon is activating your sixth house. The sixth house deals with daily life, daily routine. The solar point is in the 12th house with Mercury, and we also have another T-square, which is Venus and Saturn opposition. So that's your first and seventh, and with Mars and Jupiter being the apex, the focal planets. So overall, the themes highlighted at this time is your daily life, daily routine, your health, communication, spirituality as well. So during this time, you're here with the full moon activating your sixth and that first T-square with the Sun and Uranus being activated. Overall, this could indicate that your daily life, daily routine, maybe your health, your well-being might be disrupted during this time by some sudden unexpected situations, changes that could be even happening out of your control. I think this is a time to generally balance your health, your well-being with new ideas, with some spiritual projects, activities. This will be really, really crucial around this time. Now, at the same time, there could be also some potential communication issues since Mercury is still retrograde, the ruler of your chart. And also Mercury is combust, overpowered by the energies of the Sun. The second T-square between Venus and Saturn with Uranus being the focal planet. So yes, potential communication issues, or perhaps some conflicts within your immediate environment could surface around this time. Now, you might have this strong need to maybe redirect your energies on work or health. So overall, the goal of this full moon is to rethink how you manage your daily life, daily routines, and interpersonal interactions. But at the same time, I think there's a lot of focus upon your work and health and well-being around this time. And this could generally lead to you having to think deeper about how you manage your life overall, how you manage your daily life, daily responsibilities, but also here interpersonal interactions are very much highlighted here since Saturn is retrograde in your seventh house, opposing Venus being naturally connected to love relationships. So there is this, I think, this need to approach love from a very practical and realistic point of view. All right, so thank you very much, Virgos. And now let's have a look at Libras. Hello, Libras, and welcome. All right, so here we've got a full moon activating. The full moon in Aquarius will activate your 5th house, and we've got a solar point with Mercury in the 11th, and Uranus activates your 8th house. And then we've got Venus and Saturn activating your lifestyle houses and spirituality. All right, so here we've got potentially that creative side of life, creative self-expression, romantic relationships, children's. There are some kind of unexpected changes potentially, or challenges that could come up around this time that will require your attention, will require you to slow down and think carefully about how you can navigate these potential energy situations. Now, with the full moon activating your 5th house and Uranus being the focal planet in the 8th of shared and joint resources, here we've got some financial shifts that could occur that could have a strong impact upon your long-term goals and plans as well. So maybe you will be redefining your goals. Maybe you'll become more realistic about what is achievable at this point in your life and what isn't. But I think the next few months will be really important. And I think the situations that occur around this time will prompt you to take a closer look at the direction that towards which you're heading. If something is not in alignment here, this full moon will make it very visible. And maybe also think about your financial situation, whether you need to implement some changes, budgeting, more careful financial planning. But at the same time, Saturn and Venus are in opposition, highlighting your 6th and 12th house. This is about balancing, especially since Venus is your ruler as well. So this is about balancing that fun side of life with your social responsibilities. It might be quite difficult around this time as well. But maybe this full moon wants you to think carefully about, or perhaps find a healthy balance between your personal desires, your personal goals, your interests, but also the collective expectations or the expectations others have of you, for example. All right, so now let's have a look at Scorpios. Scorpios, welcome. We've got here the full moon is activating your 4th house. So of course we've got the area of home, emotional life activated, but the solar point with Mercury is in your 10th house, also the career, public life, public image is important as well. We've got 2 T-squares at this time. So overall home and family dynamics might clash around this time with your career demands, with your career responsibilities, duties. And there could be some unexpected changes in your professional life taking place that will require adjustments in your personal environment. So this could be crucial. This is crucial around this time. Now, at the same time, we've got also Venus and Saturn's opposition, the 5th and the 11th house, with Uranus being activated in your 7th house. I think this is also about balancing your ambitions, your dreams, your goals, desires with your family responsibilities. And I think there is this intense focus around this time on your career, on your public image, public reputation. And I think this full moon could essentially, the decisions that you make around this full moon could bring transformation into your home life in the long term. So make your decisions wisely. All right, so thank you, Scorpios, and let's have a look at Sagittarius. Sagittarius, welcome. We've got a full moon activating your 3rd house. The 3rd house here deals with communication, siblings, short distance travel, learning, daily routines, movement. And we've got 2 T-squares at this point, activating also your area of home and career. So what is this all about? It's quite complex, let's say it this way, but overall here, with the 3rd and the 9th, we've got the tension between your daily life, daily responsibilities, that practical side of life. But also we've got a clash between your need to have fun, to expand your horizons, to expand your wisdom. And overall, this full moon might, the situations, the events, the experiences you go through around this full moon could lead to some sudden insights that could generally disrupt your daily life, daily routine. And this can prompt you overall to reevaluate your beliefs, your goals, your dreams, your hopes for the future, your direction and the direction you want to take moving forward. Now, at the same time, we've got also the 4th and the 10th activated with the Sun and Venus, Venus and Saturn opposition. And this could be about balancing your daily responsibilities, your work demands, with personal growth, personal ambitions. And I think watch out, because communication could be still difficult, tricky around this time. Mercury is retrograde. Mercury rules your 7th house and the 10th. So communicate as openly and honestly as you can in order to avoid any misunderstandings. And I think here with this Venus and Saturn opposition, this could also mean that you may need to find perhaps new ways to integrate your daily life with your bigger goals, or with having that bigger vision on your life. Thank you very much, Sagittarius. And now let's have a look at Capricorns. Capricorns, welcome. So here for you, this is your 2nd and the 8th house. The full moon will activate your area of finances, of personal values, your creativity, but also shared and joint resources. We've got 2 T-squares happening at this time as well, which also here the 2nd oppositions activates your 3rd and the 9th house. And the focal points are in the 5th and the 6th. So with the first T-square activated by the full moon and Uranus being the focal planet, here some potential issues connected to personal and shared resources might come up around this time. Overall, here, this full moon could bring some unexpected financial changes. And these could overall make you reevaluate your approach to resources, possessions, but also your personal values. Maybe this is connected to changes to your work, changes to your salary, for example. Maybe you'll be buying, selling certain objects, or perhaps implementing changes to your business, whatever it is. I think this can also mean that you'll take a closer look at your approach to material objects. Now, the 2nd T-square between Venus and Saturn, with Mars and Jupiter being the focal points. Here, this T-square prompts you to find a healthy balance between personal values and your creative projects, or perhaps your romantic relationships. It might not be the easiest thing to do. It will require some thinking and energy, but here there's also this intense focus upon your shared resources, and this can generally lead to a really deep and profound transformation in your financial sector, in the creative side of your life, in the way that you express yourself artistically, creatively. Thank you very much. And now let's have a look at Aquarius. Aquarius, welcome. This full moon will activate your 1st house. It's a really important full moon, and I really encourage you to think about what happened during the new moon in Aquarius in end of January, February 2023. It's really significant, especially if you have any placements around these placements here in the fixed signs. Yeah, so with the 1st house being activated, so yes, that's your personal identity, but also your relationships. With a full moon, it's not just about one house. It's there's this opposition between the moon and the sun. So your personal relationships are highlighted. Uranus being activated in your 4th house also highlight your area of home. And of course, we've got the invisible point, which is opposite Uranus at your career. Now, but I'm not going to overcomplicate it. Basically, here we've got with the first T-square, we've got a tension between personal desires, personal goals. It's all very personal, connected to you and your relationship dynamics, the seventh house. And this could generally be very much highlighted at this time. So generally here, this could lead to some unexpected changes, shifts in your business partnerships, in your relationship, public image. And I think that there is some kind of adjustment that is required here in how you assert your identity. Are you living through other people's expectations, or are you not? Are you being your authentic self, or perhaps are you trying to be someone else just to make other people happy? Now, with the second T-square, that's Venus and Saturn opposition, that's your second and the eighth house, with the focal points being Mars and Jupiter in the fifth house. Got a conflict here. Venus rules your fourth house. Mars, being the focal planet, rules the 10th house, traditionally Scorpio. And also Saturn is the traditional career planet. So there could be conflict at your home as well, especially since Uranus is activated in the first T-square. So the overall conflict between home life and your career ambitions, aspirations. Perhaps this could be related to your spouse being overly focused around their career, and they might not be present at home, overall emotionally detached. So this could come up as well. And I think this is about having this need to find a balance between professional responsibilities and personal relationships. Thank you very much, Aquarius. And now let's have a look at Pisces. Hello, Pisces, and welcome. So here we've got the 12th house activated with the full moon, the house of spirituality, the hidden matters, the invisible world, addictions as well, private side of life. And also we've got the solar point in your sixth of daily life, work environment. And we've got two T-squares at this time as well. So overall, we've got spirituality, daily routine, health, communication very much highlighted. And with the T-squares, this is about your daily life, daily routine, and your health, your well-being. So there's some kind of disruptions in this area of life, sudden changes, sudden insights. And that these could potentially stimulate you, encourage you, push you to find a healthy balance between personal well-being and your spiritual side of life, spiritual pursuits. This is really, really important, because if you've been working too much, if you've been dedicating a lot of energy to your work, then this full moon will really prompt you to withdraw, at least temporarily, for a few hours at least, recharge yourself. I think this full moon really wants you to recharge your energies, because the 12th house energy and the 6th house energy, the 6th house is overall the house of hard work and labor, and the sun is here during Leo season. So this full moon is happening towards the end of Leo season, prompting you to take a break, have a rest. And at the same time, I think pay attention, because Mercury is still retrograde. Communication could be an issue around this time. Now, there could be some tense energy that could emerge in your immediate environment, maybe with someone from your community, for example. So overall, I think this is a time to think carefully about your mental health, your well-being. Think about maybe some activities that you could implement that could help you to recharge, that could help you to slow down, at least for a little bit. Maybe the time has come also to bring some changes to your daily life, daily routine, lifestyle changes. Maybe this is about restructuring your daily life routine, at least substantially, to find a healthier balance between your personal life and your work life. Thank you very much, Pisces.